Welcome to my podcast, Today's Dream, Tomorrow's Reality. My name is Vicki Poole. I'm a master transformational coach and hypnotist specializing in habit change. And this podcast is sponsored by the Enlightened Peach. And it's all about embracing our mosaic life. And some of you may ask, what is a mosaic life anyway? Well, it is recognizing that all the pieces of our life, the good, the bad, the indifferent, have all come together to make us who we are. Change any one thing and we are different. With that in mind, I invite you to embrace your perceived imperfections and celebrate who you are. This podcast is unedited and raw, just like life. And I am your host, and I have a special guest today that I'm going to introduce in just a moment. But before I do, I would love for you to leave a comment or a question. And remember, above all, to like, subscribe, and share. So now let's get started. So this lovely lady right here is Wendy, and is it Schapira? Is that how you say it?
Schapira.
Ah, beautiful. And I know Wendy.
I like to go by Unger Schapira because I'm most known by my maiden name.
Oh, okay. Because it's not there. I was looking there, and usually I see it in there. So yeah, so wonderful. Well, the how I know this beautiful lady is actually she was in a group that I was asked to come in and speak, and she decided to join my Facebook group, the Stand Up and Stand Out community. And she has been such a treasure being on the lives, bringing in friends, and it's just warmed my heart tremendously just getting to know her and seeing her in the group and sharing and doing all the things that she does. So if you don't mind, Wendy, I'll open the floor to you and let you just kind of introduce yourself a little bit, tell them where you're from and that kind of thing.
Well, I'm from Miami Beach. I have been here since 1955.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. My family was really a pioneering family here. My grandfather was a developer, and I grew up in his hotel business. And as a result of his business, I wound up at the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, where I spent 40 years in a dream job. I had other jobs before I wound up there, but I actually wound up there, and I wound up doing almost everything. I wound up known as the cosmic connector.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Because I was the person on Miami Beach that you went to for whatever you needed.
Well, since I've the little time that I've known you, I think you're still that.
I am still that, even though I've been retired since 2019. People still call on me when they need connections on the beach, because they know that I still have the strings I can pull and put them in touch with the people they need for whatever it is they need. For me, it was wonderful because I knew everything that was going on in the city. I was involved in everything that was going on in the city. And I got to meet the celebrities. I got to do whatever was going on, and it was just incredible. It was wonderful. And the most wonderful things were, it was never routine. In 40 years, I never lived the same day twice. I would come home to my husband every day and say, I had the most wonderful day at work today. And he'd say, you're not credible because you say that every day. But it was a dream job. I loved going to work, and I had a wonderful day every day.
Yeah.
Because I was doing what I loved doing, which was helping people. And it was always wonderful.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. And so there's probably people that are watching and listening and thinking, I wish I had a job like that. Because, what's amazing to me is how many people work their job for the little bit of 1 week or 2 week vacation that they have a year. And it's like they're putting up with everything to get to there, or they're going through the week just dying to get to Friday or Saturday, so they have the weekend off. And that's no way to live, really. That's just biding your time until you do die, in my opinion. So I love that you had that kind of experience with that job.
And
So when you're thinking about it, and I know after being there for 40 years, there's probably a lot of amazing memories, but is there one that stands out above the rest when you look over that 40 years?
um, s- the most special thing was I got to mentor a lot of women
Oh,
and young women
mm-hmm.
in a lot of different things, because we had a lot of interns come through the chamber for all kinds of different careers. And when I retired, I think that was the most special thing for me, that they brought in so many of the young women that I had mentored, and they spoke of how wonderful the impact I had had on them was. And it really warmed my heart, because it was not something I gave any thought to, because it was
Yeah,
something I loved doing so much for them because of how much I loved my job.
yeah,
And so it was something I loved doing. And I still do. I mean, I support women, I lift up women, and that's something I've always done, because I was a female activist all my life and
mm-hmm.
involved in women's issues from the
Were you
very
a bra
beginning,
burner?
or was.
I could
I
I could see that.
I was involved at the time when I think I told you this,
Hmm.
when women were not in men's community organizations, and I was involved in the national movement to allow women into the men's organizations. And that was a very important thing for me. I was here in Miami Beach, part of the JCs, and I was part of being the first group of women to be in the JC organization. And it was a wonderful time then,
Yeah.
in
I
the
kind of remember you
90s.
talking about it because I think I shared with you that when I was growing up, my mother signed my report card and stuff, Mrs. James E. Patterson. She did not use her name as a
Wow.
signature,
Wow.
and so that was when I was really young, but it changed as I got a little bit older, but it's like looking back and I can remember that I remember wondering, why is her name Mrs. James E. Patterson?
And it's funny because I travel. And when I travel and I meet people from Minnesota, I always say to them, oh, I love the people from Minnesota, because Minnesota was the state that really pushed us through, that they were the state that made the difference for us. And in the United States made the difference for making women into men's organizations.
Nice, nice. And when I was in high school, we didn't have, of course, we were a new school, and so maybe that's why, but we didn't have a girls' soccer team. We only
Wow.
had a boys' soccer team. And I'm not athletic, never have been, could care less about it right now. Now I could walk and go ride a bike and that kind of stuff, but back then, you know, but it was important to me because there were several girls that decided that we were going to band together and we were going to go and try out for this soccer team and see if we could get girls on this team, because they wouldn't let us have a whole different team. It had to be that or nothing. And so I tried out with them just for purposes. Of course, I did not make the team. I'll have to tell you, if you want to see something that's really funny, see somebody that doesn't like to run, doesn't want to run, and they have to sprint from the back of the line to the front of the line. I mean, people would be passing me, I'm still trying to get to the front of the line, and I'm almost the back of the line is kind of catching up with me. So I didn't make it. And I think there were like 8 of us. I can't even remember how many there were of us that tried out. 2 made the team and nobody else. But to me, I didn't care if I made the team. I really hoped I didn't, because I didn't want to do that. It was the principle of the thing, right?
Wow. You can't imagine some of the stories, because in Florida, they were not called JC women. They were called JCettes, because we were segregated into 2 organizations. We were
Mm,
called JCs and JC women, or JCs and JCettes. And my women in Miami Beach were not getting called JCettes, not under any circumstances. They were not going to be diminutive of anything.
Yeah.
And the girls in Tallahassee weren't listening to us. And we suffered. I mean, because of the mindset of the women in the state. They were JCettes. They were proud to be JCettes, and they didn't understand the JC women attitude. And we won a state prize one year, and the way the protocol worked, if you won the #1 award in the state, the state was supposed to submit your project to the nation to go for the #1 award in the United States JCs, the JC women. And they wouldn't submit us because we were broad burners and they didn't like it. So I had to come back with our #1 award with the state award and say to my girls, they're not pushing our award to the state competition, to the US competition, because they don't like us.
Wow.
And under any other circumstances, if we had been the Miami Beach JCettes, they would have taken our award on.
Power play, right?
They didn't do it. Power play, of course, and they didn't do it. And it was like a slap in the face telling us.
So what year would this have been?
It was probably 1979 or 1980, I think.
And I bet there's a lot of younger men and women that watch or listen to this that are totally unaware that it hasn't been that long ago that's the way it was. It's like a lot of people talk about a lot of the different groups that are, transgressed against and everything, but women were at one point, and it hasn't really been that long ago, women were just considered property. So the husband could just treat them however they wanted to, make them do whatever they wanted to, and they had no recourse, period.
Yeah, but look what's happening now. That's exactly what's happening now. We're going back to that because of the Dobbs thing and Roe and a King Trump.
So, I mean, it's amazing to think about that.
They're taking away our rights again, and this is a very bad time for us.
Yeah, it's I don't think a lot of times that people are aware how things don't happen, and I hate to really talk politics and stuff, but the thing that's amazing is that things don't happen suddenly, they happen incrementally. It's like you take this one thing away, nobody noticed, we'll take another. Nobody noticed, we'll take another. And after a while, I mean, not to say that this is Hitler or anything like that, but Hitler didn't suddenly turn people against the Jews.
No.
He had a team of people causing the dissonance, and then everybody just started going along. Well, not everybody, but the biggest portion of the population. And the thing that to me is, I think it's important for us to remember history and things that have happened in the past, because if you don't at least acknowledge it and notice it, then it's so much easier for somebody to repeat some of those things because you don't even know that there's something wrong with it.
Right, but we're in large trouble now because this abortion issue is much more than a religious issue. It is a healthcare issue, and it is affecting the lives of women.
Yeah. A lot of women died years ago when abortions were illegal because they still got them. They just put their life in their own hands when they went somewhere else to get them.
Well, it's happening again.
Yeah. So it's mind-blowing to me to think about how different it has been compared to where it was, and that it's on a banana peel right now with all the things that are happening. But let's get on to some better topics. Because I just love talking to you. You're usually on the lives and we can have conversations and everything. And so As we're kind of getting to know each other a little bit here, I really want to know, and I may have asked you this question and just don't remember the answer, or maybe I just want you to answer again. What was it when I went live in that group and you were in there and you decided you wanted to join my stand up and stand out group? So what was it that kind of had you go ahead and, yes, I want to at least try it?
Um, well, I was fascinated by the fact that you had a women's group. That was what probably made me tune in. And as soon as I tuned in and saw what you were doing and saw the positiveness of what you were doing, that hooked me. I am so thrilled with what you're doing. And what's so remarkable for me is that I don't know if I've said this to you directly, but I have been, I would have to say, in all honesty, I've been blocked from moving forward and taking care of myself since I retired. And I think that probably that happened because I was very, very happy working. I retired because I was in a tremendously work-intensive full-time job that made me very happy. And I came back to doing very little. And in spite of the fact, I can't say that I'm not happy doing nothing, but I'm not doing anything to nourish myself.
Right.
And in spite of the fact that the traveling, because we've been adventuring, has been wonderful for our relationship, it's not nourishing me.
Right.
It's
Right.
nourishing our relationship, but it's not nourishing me. And it has stopped any forward progress or me doing anything positive for myself. And it had put me in a totally stumbling block situation since 2019. And
Wow.
I just stopped doing anything good for myself. And I, I felt like I was banging against a brick wall because I knew I wanted to do something good, but I didn't know what to do.
Mm, that makes a lot of sense.
And what I found through the 2 workshops is that I'm very, very receptive to visualization in terms of motivating myself.
Cool.
And the visualizations are what like catapulted me through the brick wall.
Oh, well, fantastic. I'm so excited.
Catapulted me like a rocket and pushed me into total motion, so that it was like immediate action. I went back to the one weight loss program that had been most successful for me, working out, not totally religiously, but at least being motivated enough to do it almost every day, but being totally religious to the weight loss program, which is and being very comfortable with it, almost as if, like that's what I knew I needed to do, but,
Yeah.
And I'm it's so unbelievably grateful because I know that that's exactly what made it happen,
Oh, I'm
and
so excited
yeah,
that,
so
yeah.
it just was absolutely incredible to me. And it's funny because the visualization that we did in the first workshop is one that I have done before, and it had the exact same effect on me in a different way. I had been blocked from taking care of myself in my job, going to my boss and telling him I absolutely needed a promotion at my job. And I had just not done it. And the visualization put me, I saw myself in the promotion,
Mm-hmm.
in the
All right, so let
job,
me remember, is this the one where you
where you
met
see
your
your
younger
future
self?
self,
Your
where you
future
see your,
self? Yeah,
your
your
future
future
self.
self. Okay, because I was trying to
And
remember which one was it? The
yeah,
the
the
blocks or
future self. And I saw myself in the office of being the membership director. And I walked into his office and I said, you have to make me the membership director. I mean, I've been there 40 years. I needed to be the membership director. And I got the promotion. And it was because of the visualization, because I have a really good friend who was a business coach for me, and she had done it. And I was shattered when she did that. When she did that visualization, I was shattered, but it worked. And it's interesting that I'm as receptive to that as I am, but I was, and I
Well,
am.
it was divine intervention because, I tried to decide what I wanted to do in that master class. I'm going to do a visualization, which one. And then right before we got on, that's when I decided I was going to do that one.
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
The whole thing, the whole train, from being in Melissa's group to meeting you to going into the group and finding all of that. So it's been incredible. And I absolutely love it. So it's been wonderful for me. And I've been sharing it with the people I know who will be receptive and enjoy being part of it. So
yeah, and that I appreciate so much. I mean, I'm actually going to be talking to, who is it I'm talking to tomorrow? Deborah. Yeah, Deborah. And so that's going to be really, really cool. I can't wait to dive into a lot of stuff with her. And so, I mean, it's amazing. And, you have such an amazing vibration around you that it just kind of lights up. I imagine when you walk into a room, the lights get brighter,
thank you.
because your smile does that, your presence and any of the things that you're there for, you're always putting things in the comments, you're always sharing and being part of it. And then to have you send in some of your friends, it's like the greatest thing that can happen is to have somebody refer somebody to you. For those that don't know, if you've been following me for a while, you do, but I'm a hairstylist. And I used to say the greatest compliment you can ever give me is to send one of your friends to get their hair done, because I know how amazing you feel about your hair. And I feel that way with this too. For you sending your friends in to be part of this group, it just really is the best compliment you could ever give me. Because, when we're doing this work, and from when you were helping those women and everything, that you're doing something and you can feel it and all, but you don't realize sometimes how much of a difference it makes for people. And so it's always great to know. But when you were sharing about the women that you were working with and you were helping, and how they all came together about you, if what popped in my head was, do you remember the movie Mr. Holland's Opus?
Vaguely, yes.
Vaguely, because I don't know so you probably might not remember, but he was a composer, and he got a teaching job because he just wanted to make some money while he was composing, and he ended up being there till he retired, and finally got something composed. But it was like at the end thing is he's given some kind of award or saying thank you, and he's up on stage, and then all the students that he had taught are behind him playing their instruments, and the audience is full of people that he's made a difference in their life. And it's going to make me cry because it is so amazing. I don't know, it's just a friggin' movie, but it was just seeing that one person can just affect all of that, and so when we're making a difference for one person, it's like that ripple, out into the ocean. It's not, it's the next person and the next person and the next person. And so I just love doing all this stuff because it just, like I say all the time, it just lights me up, right?
Well, you've been a great influence, and it's been very special. I'm very grateful.
Well, thank you.
Very grateful.
Thank you. Well, I'm grateful for you too. So it's reciprocal. It's reciprocal.
A mutual admiration society.
That's it.
Deborah and I, we keep going back and forth. Deborah, I love you. I love you because I just appreciate her creativity so much. Everything she does just makes me feel good. So,
Yeah, yeah. And we're doing her podcast tomorrow. We're doing it live
Wow.
on YouTube. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So you'll have to tune in.
Great.
And so for those that are listening or watching, it will have been in the past when you get this. But you can go and check it out. The thing that I think is beautiful is that you are, like you said, you're a cosmic connector, but you're not just a connector, you're a collector. I feel like you collect the most amazing people around you. So we talk all the time about that energetic thing. So you're not going out and grabbing things are just coming to you. It just feels like you're that kind of person that it just like the amazing things happen, things are just pulling to you all the time. Do you feel that?
And it's happened while I'm traveling too. It's been really wonderful because we've been traveling on Royal Caribbean ships, and it's been so much fun because I spend a lot of time with the activities people, and
Mhm.
they wind up jumping from ship to ship. So it's been fun when we've been on one ship and finding the people that were on another ship, and how I've been collecting those activities people and how much fun it's been seeing them again on a different ship. And
Oh, I want to
that's been a
cruise
lot
with
of fun.
you.
Yeah, we've been having so much fun. We've done like 70 cruises over the past 3 years. And
Oh,
it's just
wow.
been,
That's in 3 years?
yeah, it's been a
Holy
lot of fun.
smokes.
Well, we go sometimes for 4 to 6 weeks at a time on one
Yeah.
ship,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a retirement adventure, and it has been the real adventure of our lives. And the funny thing, we've been talking about writing a
Hmm.
book. I journaled each of the weeks of the cruise. I journal every night. So I
Hmm.
have it all written in books. So it's really easy. I said to Zach, I said, now the trip is going to be going all over the house and finding the different journal books, and going to inventory them so I can put them in order all of the weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't have to put it in order. You can just make it hodgepodge. You don't know.
Yeah. No, but that's
So
going to be a fun project.
yeah, yeah, that will be fun. Yeah. To getting it all together and actually getting out of, I'll bet Melissa will want that.
But it's going to be fun. But that's going to be a fun thing. And I can do like short stories and stuff. I can do all kinds of things because I've got a lot of material. But it's been fun. So it's been a real adventure. I mean, we've been in the Caribbean because he doesn't really want to get on an airplane. So
Mm.
because he doesn't want the chaos of an airport. But
So
it looks,
I guess you all the time go out of Miami?
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
mostly Miami, because we're only 15 minutes from the port, so it's real easy for us. Just
Okay.
hop in a car and get to the port.
Yeah.
But what an adventure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been
Well, I
incredible.
don't think you'll get to the end of your life and say, "Oh, I wish I had."
Nope. But
Yeah.
this was something, it was something that it just happened. Um, you know, it was something we never ever thought we would ever do. And it's just been wonderful. We've met incredible people. We've made wonderful friends that we see, um, and something that they do that's really fun on ships is they hide little rubber ducks.
Mm-hmm.
So for children and other adult people who really have fun. And I've gotten into the culture of the rubber ducks. And there's a woman that I've made friends with who we haven't traveled together yet, but we've made friends. And one time we met on the dock. She was in a ship that was docked on the other side of the dock, and we met and we traded ducks. So we've been really good friends, and we're going to travel together one trip in November. So we're
Oh,
really excited. It's the
nice.
first
So
time we've
what
been on
cruise
a
ship
trip
do you
together.
usually go on?
Oh, all different. We've been on 8 of them, but the line we go with is Royal Caribbean.
Okay. Okay. I've been on Princess and Celebrity. I have not been on Royal
Celebrity
Caribbean.
is Royal.
Oh, okay. It is. All right.
It's their upper echelon.
Okay.
It's part of, we've been on Celebrity, But
Okay.
now we're working on their loyalty program. It's really funny because by the time we wind up with the ones that we have booked now, we need one more week and then we'll be at their top echelon.
Yeah. See, my mom, she's cruised enough that she's on the top with a princess. And so she gets all the perks and all the stuff. So everybody always wants to try to share a room with her.
My husband, up until 2 cruises ago, was because on April 30th is the end of their gambling loyalty program year, and he was at the top of their gambling echelon.
Mhm.
But because last year we took 6 months off, he didn't have enough points. So he lost his loyalty program.
Aw.
So we lost our points. We were in really good shape because we were getting a lot of bennies, but we're not going to have them now until the end of when we get the traveling bennies, which
Yeah.
we'll get when we finish with this sailing. the
Beautiful. So where's
trips
your
we
next
have.
one going to?
We're gonna have we're going to their private island, and we're going to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, and then it goes to the private island again. That what happened was they were going to Haiti they have a private island in Haiti, but with the violence that's been going on in Haiti, they stopped going to Haiti. So the
Yeah.
Puerto Plata Dominican Republic is their replacement for their Haiti stop. So this is an interesting cruise. So we're going with friends,
Mhm.
and they have this new thing they built because of their new ship, the biggest ship they have, which is called the Icon. They built a private island that is only for adults. There are no children allowed on the private island, on the special part of the private island. On
Mhm.
the other side, they have plenty of stuff for children, but they have a private part that doesn't allow children. It's an adults only part. So they have a special part where they have all kinds of special stuff for the adults only. So this time, our friends and we made special reservations to go to the adults only side on the private island. It's the first time, but we've heard so many good things about it
Yeah.
that we finally decided to go. So it's going to be the first time my husband actually went to this side. So we're going to check it out. We're going on the second day of the cruise. We're going on one of their Oasis class ships, which is their largest size ships. And it's called the Allure. For me, part of the best part is going to be the show on board. The Broadway show is Mamma Mia, which I love.
Oh, I do
And
too.
I'm going to watch it every time they have a performance. I have a friend who's involved with Royal, and she does the productions, and she and her husband are responsible for this particular production of Mamma Mia on board. And so I'm really thrilled that I've seen it. We've been on board the Allure. We've sailed it before, and it's so wonderful. I can't wait to be on board and see it again. So I'll probably see it about 4 times in the week that we're on board. So we're going
Nice.
July 9th, and we'll be on board for a week. So we're looking forward to that. And then the way we're booked now, that'll be July. And then the next one we're going for is 10 days in November.
Where's
So
that one going?
that one's going to a whole bunch of places. It's going to, I need to look. It's going to Southern Caribbean. And it's going, let's see, cruise schedule. Cruise.
For those that are listening and can't see, she's looking this up on her phone as we speak.
Unfortunately, there's a pause here because I have to look and see where we're going.
Well, it's funny because um uh we used to go on cruises all the time. Of course, I hadn't been on as many as you, but after a while, people would say, well, where are you going this time? I'd say, I don't know. We're going to be on a ship and we're going to get to be on the water. That's all I care about.
Yeah, that's all I care about, because I mostly stay on the, let's see if I can find it here.
You stay on board most of the
Yeah,
time?
I mostly stay on board anyway.
Okay. Well, you sound like my mom. She's it's
Oh,
funny. I was gonna go and I decided not to, but they're going in February. Her and my brother are going and rooming together, and my sister and my brother-in-law are going. They're going on Princess. I don't even remember where they're going. But she said she was going to gamble because she felt like they would probably, I think the way they're saying that she would still be in international waters, and they would get the little boats, what the tenders or whatever it is, so that the casino will still be open. I don't know, but she said she didn't really care anything about getting out and getting those places that she's been before. She just wants to stay on the ship and eat and gamble.
well, I don't eat a lot, but that's okay. Anyway, this one still says Labadee, which is Haiti. So they haven't changed it yet, but it's also going to San Juan, St. Lucia, and St. Kitts.
Okay,
So
that'll be nice.
St. Kitts is really wonderful. We haven't been there in a long time. We used to go windjammer sailing on the tall ships. And we went to St. Kitts on the tall ships. So so we'll see. On the Labadee port, it'll probably go to the Dominica, Dominican to Puerto Plata,
Yeah,
probably. So
yeah,
that'll probably be the replacement. So who knows? We'll see.
yeah. Well,
You know,
regardless of where it goes, you'll have a hell of a good time, right?
absolutely. So who knows where it's going? And that's 10 days. And that's on Explorer, which is a little ship. And that for duck hunters is wonderful. That has so many places to hide ducks. It's like the first time that we went on Explorer, everywhere I went, there were ducks. I would be walking towards the elevator and I'd find a duck. I'd get on the elevator and I'd say, I found a duck. And people who don't know anything about the duck hunting would say, what are you talking about? I'd say, look, I found a duck, see? And I'd hand it to them. I'd say, see, you can have it, and they'd say, what is this? And I'd say, you got to keep your eyes open. Everywhere you go, you'll find ducks. This ship has millions of them. They're all over the place because people are hiding ducks everywhere. And it's just the greatest ship. And every time I see people post that they find them on Facebook, I mean, in duck hunting groups on Facebook.
That's
And
wild.
every time they post it on Explorer, I'll say, I'll post back, yes, Explorer is duck heaven,
Well, I
So,
don't think maybe it's indicative of that cruise line, but it could be. It's been a few years since I haven't been on a cruise since right before COVID, and so maybe they're all doing it now. I have no idea, but they
oh yeah.
certainly weren't doing it. Or let me put it this way: I didn't know about it when I was on the cruise. It could have been there, and I just didn't know. I could have been one of those people in the elevator, like, "What are you talking about?"
They do it now everywhere.
Do
And
they?
what's wonderful about it now, I mean, what's wonderful about the ducks is, when you see a family and they're having a really fussy child, if you walk over and you hand the child a duck, it's like instant the child is calmed and the mother
Mm.
will look up at you and you'll go, you're a magician. You know? And it works every time, and it's like incredible. Or, you walk over to a table and you put a duck in front of the child and the child is just thrilled. And it's fantastic. And the best part is on these really big ships, they have a park, a central park. It's called Central Park, and it's a real park, like a park. It's
Mhm.
got walking paths and it's got trees and plants and everything. And in the early mornings, you'll see the kids with their grandparents duck hunting. You see them looking on the planters and looking on the ground and looking everywhere for the ducks. And it's just so cute. So you walk in there if you're one of the people with ducks and you go, you looking for ducks? Here, have one. It's so much fun.
That's wild. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
it's a
I
lot
love
of
that.
fun. Yeah,
So
it's
we are getting
fantastic.
close to time. So um is there anything that you want to share that maybe we haven't talked about already? Something you want to tell me or you want to tell the listeners?
I don't know, something I did that was really fun
Okay.
that brought me really closer to my nephew,
Okay.
my brother and sister-in-law's son was several years ago. We had to go north for Thanksgiving because the first child of the next generation was being born. And so it was easy for all of us to go north instead of them to come south
Right.
um, for Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is a very big holiday for our family. My nephew called me and he said, we're all going to go to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And we need somebody in the family to march in the parade as a clown. Do you have any idea, Wendy, who that might be? And I said, of course I do. That should be me. So I got to march in Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade as a clown. And that was probably one of my most memorable events of my life. And
Nice.
it was definitely the most wonderful New York experience that I ever had. Um, and it was definitely a bonding experience for me and my nephew because he went to clown school for me because they don't let you march unless you've been at clown school, but he arranged so that he could be my surrogate at clown school.
Oh, how
And
wild.
yeah, and it was just the most incredible thing, and it was just wonderful. Plus, from the chamber standpoint, it was also good because it was the year that they were building the new Lowe's Hotel on Miami Beach, and I got to meet all the Lowe's executives who were marching in the parade. I got to meet them at the parade, the people who were coming to Miami Beach to represent Lowe's Corp here in Miami Beach. They were marching in the parade, and I got to meet them at the parade, and that was exciting. So
Wow. What a
it was
synchronicity thing, right?
yeah. So it was just really wonderful, and the way that my nephew went completely out of the way to take care of that whole experience for me was really wonderful. And the parade was just exceptional. Plus, to watch, because I am an event person and I, did citywide events for Miami Beach, so I know what that's like. And seeing it from a New York standpoint was like on steroids. It
Yeah, I
was
bet.
like unbelievable to watch the Macy's people and the New York police squad make that happen without, any disruption, and just make it go as smoothly as it did was just a really impressive. And it was incredible. It was a wonderful experience. So that was exciting.
Yeah, I'm so glad you had that experience. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. It was
Yeah.
really wonderful.
Well, thank you for that. And I
Very
just want to
joyous.
I want to say again, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And thank you so much for being part of the Stand Up and Stand Out community, because you are definitely a majorly wonderful addition to the group. And keep being you, because you are pretty damn special.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being you. And thank you for being in my life. And thank you for helping me
Ah, my
grow.
pleasure, my pleasure. And so I'm going to end this podcast with my favorite quote. The best way to predict the future is to create it. And
Thank
I
you.
love that. All
Thank you.
right.
And I love you.
So, pardon?
I love you.
Love you too. All right. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you soon.